Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. That is the secret to happiness and virtue, liking what you've got to do. All conditioning aims at that, making people like their inescapable social destiny. A love of nature keeps no factories busy. It was decided to abolish the love of nature at any rate among the lower classes. Most historical facts are unpleasant. When you're not accustomed to history, most facts about the past do sound incredible. Stability. No civilization without social stability. No social stability without individual stability. Wheels must turn steadily, but cannot turn untended. There must be men to tend them. Stable in contentment. Family, monogamy, and romance. Everywhere exclusiveness. A narrow channeling of impulse and energy. Stability. The primal and ultimate need. Ending is better than mending. The more stitches, the less riches, the more stitches. He was wretched, in a word, because she has behaved as any healthy and virtuous English girl ought to behave, and not in some other abnormal, extraordinary way. Feeling an outsider, he behaved like one, which increased the prejudice against him and intensified the contempt and hostility aroused by his physical defects, which in turn increased his sense of being an alien and alone. A chronic fear of being slighted made him avoid his equals. It is not good enough for phrases to be good. What you make with them ought to be good too. Words can be like x-rays. If you use them properly, they'll go through anything. Show a little more pride. Everyone works for everyone else. We can't do without anyone. To be excited is still to be unsatisfied. What would it be like if I were free, not enslaved by my conditioning? It makes me feel as though I were more me, if you see what I mean. More on my own, not so completely a part of something else, not just a cell in the social body. Don't you wish you were free? Wouldn't you like to be free and happy in some other way? In your own way, for example, not in everybody else's way? Arrest your impulses. Never put off till tomorrow the fun you can have today. His intellectual eminence carries with it corresponding moral responsibilities. The greater a man's talents, the greater his power to lead astray. It is better that one should suffer than that many should be corrupted. Unorthodoxy threatens more than the life of a mere individual. It strikes a society itself. What fun it would be if one didn't have to think about happiness. Nothing can be achieved without perseverance. Throw it all away. I come to bring you freedom. The world is stable now. People are happy. They get what they want, and they never want what they can't get. They're well off. They're safe. They're never ill. They're not afraid of death. They're blissfully ignorant of passion and old age. They're plagued with no mothers or fathers. They've got no wives or children or lovers to feel strongly about. They're so conditioned that they practically can't help behaving as they ought to behave. You've got to choose between happiness and what people used to call high art. We've sacrificed the high art. Actual happiness always looks pretty squalid in comparison with the overcompensations for misery. And of course, stability isn't nearly so spectacular as instability. And being contented has none of the glamour of a good fight against misfortune, none of the picturesqueness of a struggle with temptation, or a fatal overthrow by passion or doubt. Happiness is never grand. Happiness is a hard master, particularly other people's happiness. A much harder master if one isn't conditioned to accept it unquestioningly than truth. A philosopher dreams of fewer things than there are in heaven and earth. One believes things because one has been conditioned to believe them. Civilization has absolutely no need of nobilism or heroism. These things are symptoms of political inefficiency.